You may not have thought about it, but do you know that leather is really a byproduct?
Leather in general is a byproduct of meat industry in the sense that the animals are not being reared because of the skin here in Nigeria, mostly because of the meat and then the milk. So being a byproduct, people don't care, they don't give it, the optimal necessary care and desire.
Eyes and skin, as you call it, it's a really big market. The annual trading average for it is about $20 billion annually, globally. And in 2013, we had actually clocked up to almost $1 billion in hides and skin from Nigeria.
Every day around the country, thousands of animals are slaughtered. But what happens to the skins?
We rarely skin animals here for leather tanning. Most people who slaughter goats in the villages or in their homes either shave off the hairs and eat the skin or burn it.
Believe it or not, once you strip the skin off the back of these animals, the uses for them would largely depend on where you live in Nigeria. If you live up north, chances are that those skins will end up as leather.
The sourcing of the skin is predominantly in the northern Nigeria, and some substantial amount also from the neighboring countries like Niger, Chad, Cameroon, and the rest.
The end of fasting, the end of Ramadan, that's the busiest period for the tanneries. So they get it from everywhere.
The tanneries tend to have a lot of skins because they don't eat it. It's in the south here that we eat animal skin.
You have to go to the villages. There is a supplier, a group of traders that have teamed up together to source for the raw skin. So the company get the raw material from the traders.
And if you live down south, for decades there has been a thriving submarket for hide and skin in the southern part of Nigeria. Here it is known as ponmo or raincoats. Once tagged as such, its journey ends in a kitchen and eventually in the mouth. This is the end of life for a byproduct.
Give me better food to shop. Hey, I put down where. African man not the shop is small to change. Hey, I say big man concern. Normally, I know they shop for plenty, but make you not continue say I dey vex.
So the ponmo is ready.
Hey, I put them where. Give me better food to shop.
I love to host, and so every now and then I gather some of my friends together and just basically have a cookout. Also because I love to cook, I try to make sure that there are a variety of meals available. I also try to serve a variety of meats, whether it's chicken, fish, or ponmo. But what I've noticed every time we gather is that the first place people dig into is the ponmo. It baffles me, especially because people say ponmo doesn't have a nutritional value. Whatever you put into ponmo is what you get out of it. Add as many spices as you want and it comes out tasting delicious. But you know, I think it's just a delicacy for us in our culture and in our country.
There is much more to ponmo than eating it.
Sincerely, I feel bad. Yeah, if I see somebody eating ponmo, because it's depriving a lot of industries from their raw material. That's by extension, sending a lot of people, from work, because this factory alone is employing over 200 plus employees.
But what if it can take on a new life? What if it finds its way to the runway? leather for the market or food for the belly? This conversation is about the trade-off between a culinary experience or the potential to convert heightened skins into fashionable items. Items that will be the hallmark of durability and artisanship, a life of luxury and the finer things of life. Nigeria is a meat-loving country. We love our meat and all that covers it. But for many, the skin off the back of these animals holds the key to a value chain worth more than the urge to satisfy some culinary craving.
For me, I had once taken ponmo, but since I started working leather and going far into working leather, I stopped it. No matter how you prepare it now, I don't like taking it because I feel this is part of my work material. And if I go to complain that, oh, leather is expensive, meanwhile, look at me eating leather.
The production from our tanneries, mainly located in Kano, is one of the best in the world. And we do, our leather goes, to Europe, to big designers in Europe. They're using our leather.
Africa produces about 96 million pairs of footwear, representing 2% of global output. Nigeria accounts for about 16%, making it the second largest producer after Kenya. In the last 15 years, leather had alternated first and second position as non-oil commodity foreign exchange earner. The tanneries that are currently in operation have a total installed capacity which allows for processing of over 250,000 skins per day up to wet blue level. In total, industrial tanneries report that they purchase over 43 million skins per year and generate over 9,300 direct jobs.
What we are now looking at, we scale up production and productivity so we can supply leather locally to our new entrepreneurs. We have so many entrepreneurs now into leather, and brilliant designers are coming up with extraordinary designs which we think we can now export.
City Cobbler has been on Awolowo Road 17 out of the 18 years it has been in existence. It's a family-run business. We started off by doing shoe repairs and we graduated to manufacture. It's been a challenge every step of the way, but because it's my passion, I've turned my passion into my work. I trained as a lawyer, but my mom started repairs and I thought, let's take this business a step further. We started manufacturing. I make mostly male and female slippers, and occasionally I do make shoes. And you see the pattern you like, you see the color you like, you go to your drawing board, do the design, see if the article will fit the style of the design. You bring your components together, you turn it into your concept. You make your upper, you make the insole with the fiber, you make the sole, which would be leather, you make the heels, tack them all together, put them on the press gums it together, put it on the filing machine, it does your finishing, it does your polishings, your scouring, and voila.
If you like what you're doing, that thing gets to like you. I've always been a handy person. So it's for one to have that passion for either the work or the product. The materials are all over the place. It's like scavenging. Go find these tires. You go to where this type of tires are. They're actually scooter tires, motorcycle tires. Wash it up, disinfect. Then we drill, round it. After drilling, we now put the first things like the hooks for the handles, and we start the riveting work or the stitching, whichever we choose. This one is going to be riveted, and the end product will look something like this. 2 compartments, leather in front. Have your bag. Yeah, you can hold it like this. It gives you some good attention. Leather is a bit expensive, and the current value in Europe or America, if you buy it at that rate, you can't sell it in Nigeria. Because what they're selling in Nigeria is still very, 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 cheap compared to the price of leather in the international market. Most of the ones they finish in Nigeria are like the ones they can't export. Because for them to export, they select the grades, which most of the good ones are exported. And so most of the not so very good ones, they finish for the local market. Because even the price they're selling them, we still complain that it's expensive. But then, how can they sell it at today's dollar rate?
This is a finished leather from our tanneries in Kano, many of them. And it's the leather and the suede. This is fantastic quality. All this goes to Europe and America, and even Asia. And we're trying to encourage brands that we can export abroad, and that's the next step. And the next step is now to also link them up with the tanneries rather than buy the rejects. Some of them use the rejects from Europe. Look at the irony of this. The one we've taken to Europe, they can't use. They send it back. That's what our entrepreneurs, our leather and fashion people use in Nigeria. But now what we're saying that, look, let's now organize to get this same Nigerian leather to them.
The market here in Nigeria are not yet, ready to buy at that rate. Only few people that uses standard. So they normally buy the F, the rejects. Let me say the smaller distance. So
the average Nigerian manufacturer can't afford it because of the exchange rate. Because of that, and the fact that we need to buy so many square meters per bale in those quantities, so we're restricted to buy the cutoffs, and we now buy them. So we're restrained in the sense that we can get a color, a pattern, and we can do the style for a few months, and then we run out of them. Unlike if we buy the bales. If we bought the bales from the tanneries, then you can make 100 pairs, 200 pairs of the same product. Science and technology has really evolved into the leather sector also. There are all sorts. They dye leather into denim, into Ankara, and it could be genuine leather.
I used to have some pieces of, yeah, that's it. Yeah, this is a real leather. You can see, which I used so much in the 90s. I did a lot of work with it. So this will be very, very, very relevant. It will fit into today's fashion.
These ordinary looking piece of skin, hardly durable, is turned into a globally coveted commodity. First by the tanneries operating mostly out of Kano in northern Nigeria, and later crafted by those who live for the joys of working with leather until they transformed into enduring pieces, luxury items eagerly sought even by those who delight in its gastronomical delights.
I love my products, I love the design concept, I like seeing the end result, and I like seeing the joy on the faces of my customers. It brings me joy. My passion became my work, and I wouldn't have it any other way.
I think leather, I sleep leather, I wake leather, that's what I want to do. It has given me whatever I've ever wanted. Anything I don't have now, I don't really need it. And if I would need it, I'll just work a little bit harder and a little bit longer. And, leather has made that possible.